Hello everybody, my name's Ruben A. Sandwich, and, welcome to, Wizard 101 here. I'll try this over here. But, so I'm not making this video to play Wizard 101. I'm actually gonna have a little bit of a rant here. And you guys know me, I don't like to have rants, I really don't. And why is my camera crooked? But anyways, yeah, no. Basically, welcome to the video. Hello, hello. Yeah, but I don't like making rants. Now, I'm gonna be trying to walk us around. Sorry, it's. I have to focus on two things at once. I know, difficult, right? But anyways, yeah. So Wizard 101, in my opinion, I'm just gonna be flat out about it. I don't know about the direction it's going in. Now, before anyone gets upset or anything about that, I feel like before I start complaining about it and start trying to say anything about it, anything bad about it, I feel like it would be best if I basically told you my qualifications for doing so. Like, you know, you hear people complaining all the time online, like, you know, XYZ, and they have, like, no experience in it, they have no reason to complain. You know, so I feel like it should be right that I, explain to you guys about why I feel this way. So, here, I'll even tell you my whole life story about this game. Like, I've been playing this game since about 2009. Since it first released, basically. And I've been playing it on and off, but, you know, that's still a good amount of time. Hell, I have about 20,000 hours at least. I don't know. They don't have an hours tracker as far as I'm aware. But basically, this game is like one of the first games I ever played. It is the best game I've ever played too, in my opinion. Still is, in my opinion, one of the best games in the world. Now, you guys can disagree with that. I don't mind you disagreeing with that. But it's my opinion. And I still remember the first day I played this game. Let me see, I think my great-grandpa was in the hospital. And I was, you know, just a little kid just kind of sitting there like, what's going on? Why are we here? Why does it smell clean in here? Stop it. And, you know, little me, you know, just being like, eh. But yeah, no, one of the other kids that were there, because again, I had a big family, you know, we're a pretty tight-knit family. I was like, hey, how about if I distract a kid real quick? You know, I was the young one there, I was like 6 or 7 at the time. And she takes me over, she has a laptop, and mind you, laptops about this time kind of sucked. Like, bad. But she still, you know, downloaded, you know, the one kid game that she saw, you know, on the commercials, which was Wizard 101. She downloaded it, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird, alright. And the one day that we played there, I instantly fell in love with the game. I still remember being an ice wizard going through this area here, Unicorn Way. And, you know, it didn't matter that the enemies all died with one hit. It was still a perfect game in my opinion at the time. Mind you, we didn't have a membership or anything, so we couldn't do anything with it. But in my opinion, it was the perfect game. That only lasted for like a couple of hours before we had to leave, so I didn't really get to play that long. Jump, you know, a few years to my elementary school years. My mom gets a laptop. And you know what the first thing I did with it? I downloaded Wizard 101. And I basically played the shit out of these beginning areas. This area, Triton Avenue, you know, all the beginning areas that are free to play. I somehow got to level 18 without paying a dime for this game. That shows you how many hours. Like, mind you, each encounter gets you like 5-6 XP. And yeah, no, basically you from level 10, because level 10 is usually where you get dropped off for the for the beginning quests and all that. From level 10 to level 18 is a few, at least 10 or 20,000 different XP. And as a little kid, I played that till I was level 18, which is a lot, in case, you were surprised or not. And then I remember just stopping one day because I think we moved to Oklahoma at that time. And then I just didn't play it through from 6th grade on to 8th grade. I just never played it because, I don't remember why. But then my high school career came in and I got a job for the first time. I got a job and I was actually making money. I'm like, you know what? I've never made it that far into this game. Let's play this game. And so I did it. I got a membership. That there, other than, the first time I played the game, that there was the best gaming experience of my life. And I'm not even kidding you. I brought tears to my eyes when I, was playing the game. And it's very rare for anything to bring tears to my eyes. Like, I don't think I've really shown me crying on the, camera. But yeah, no. I played this game for a bit. I played it through the first part of the world. I'm like, oh my god, there's other worlds you get to play through. And so I played through that. I played through Crocotopia, like Mushu, Marleybone. I played through those all, and it was such a good gaming experience. Like, I've never experienced a gaming experience like that. That was so refreshing to play. And then I played, sorry, I gotta keep moving, otherwise they kick you out for being inactive. But, I played through till Dragonspire. And beating Mouster was probably the best gaming experience, like, not a gaming experience, but, like, the best experience of my life. I'm just like, yeah, let's go! Also, I'm holding my little handheld Crucible. But it was like the best experience. I was like, let's go! Yeah, I did it! Because I've watched people on like YouTube beat him, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to be the guy who does that one day. And then I got to be that guy, and I'm like, oh man, that is such a good feeling to be the guy who you watch videos on to, inspire to be. And then I played Celestial, because it's just like, oh my lord, there's more game after Mouster? So I started playing through it, and I'm just like, this doesn't feel right. There's something wrong here. And it started to show a little bit of the cracks, because I, again, only expected till Mouster, so I started playing through Celestia. And then all the worlds past that. And until Azteca, there was a difficulty spike where it just was very difficult to solo my way through there. So I had to get like help, I had to go realm jumping and all that. Until Azteca, where finally my level matched my world. I played the game, I kept playing. I beat Azteca, not solo. I brought, I had some other people, randos, help me out with that one. And this was about the time that they made it to where you can team up in the thingamajig. That doesn't have a thingamajig. There's a thing that you basically team up and ask people to help you. But basically, yeah, no. Now they just don't have that. Or no, they do have that still, but I'll get to that here in a minute. And so it basically became a requirement for like in-game bosses that you bring like a team of 4 into, otherwise you're not winning that. And it's just like, really? It seems, like a huge difficulty spike. I couldn't beat this guy. And it started showing a couple of the issues that W101 at the time was having. And then I made it to Chrysalis. Chrysalis, I feel like my level was actually stronger than the world I was supposed to be in. I beat Chrysalis with no issue, really. Like, none at all. Which is surprising to say the least. You know, I beat it. It was super fun, and I feel like Chrysalis was the world that, like, revitalized it, because it was much darker than any of the other worlds that we had seen, and I'm like, okay, I can dig this, and the next world, I forgot what the next world was, but I remember it was disappointing to me. I don't remember why it was disappointing. What was after Chrysalis? Polaris? I think it was Polaris. Here, let me go check real quick. Yeah, no, Polaris. That was a whole other experience. And it just felt like I was going through the motions in Polaris. And then, you know, the difficulties drop. Was it Polaris? Yeah, it was Polaris after Chrysalis. It was a big difficulty spike, but I managed, you know, to get through it. You know, basically I went through the rest of the game, like, at Arc 3 and 4, were, in my opinion, just very weak in general. I played through them, and I didn't feel like any of the magic that, I know, pun intended, didn't feel any of the magic that was in the game before. I didn't feel any of that. And mind you, they ended up reworking a lot of the spells, especially the shadow spells. They kept on reworking them for some fucking reason. I don't know. They don't know what the hell balance is anymore, apparently. And it just kept getting worse and worse to where now, instead of just, you know, pressing on a spell, waiting for the pips to come up, then you know, use the spell, you have to combine. Hold on, I'll show you right now. You have to combine this spell with this spell in order to get it to actually do decent damage. And then you have these ones, you know, basically it's like the shadow spells are no longer shadow spells, but instead you can infuse your spells with shadow. And I'm like, why are we changing shit? And it leads up to the point where I'm like, why are we changing stuff? Like, it just now, and mind you, they made this change, but you have to have a training point in order to get the spell, but I didn't have a training point. So I had to go complete some side quests in order to get a training point that was completely unrelated to everything in order to get this spell. And it just seems so fucking unnecessary. Like, why is this a thing? Why do we keep changing this shit? And there's other things they've changed too, but like, the game is changing and not for the better. I'm just like, what is going on? Now, mind you, my wizard right now is level 172. I'm going through Darkmoor right now. And I'm just trying to be like, why? Why is this, you know, why do they keep changing the game? It's so unnecessary to change the game at this point. It's been around since 2009 and they keep changing it. And I feel like the same can go for League of Legends, but League of Legends is, you know, much smaller scale because all they've been doing is really just changing items, not really the core gameplay of it. You know, it's like same 4 buttons, you know, to use your abilities and all that. But for this game, you have to, they fundamentally keep changing how you're supposed to play the game. And it's like, why? This is so unnecessary. I feel like that's the crux of this video, though, is complaining about, just stop changing the game, okay? If it's not broke, don't try to fix it, alright? And you keep trying to break it. And it's not the same game I fell in love with all those years ago. Granted, it still plays the same. You know, it doesn't play exactly the same, but it plays similarly. And I still do like it, but like, just stop changing it, please. You can probably hear me now. I'm not being as loud as I usually am, or, you know, I have like a little bit more half-hearted voice in this because I'm just like, dog, just stop. It's one of the only games where I actually feel like, you know, I'm begging someone, you don't need to change. Just stop changing it. And I feel like that's, yeah, I feel like that's a good note to end the video on. It's just like, just stop. Stop changing the game, okay? I feel like this can even go for other games that exist out there, you know. And I'm sure you guys can tell me about those games, but for this game, they just keep changing it. I don't know why. Do make sure you guys get a good dinner, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.